here. Okay. Bum 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 bum. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started off with this game. I've actually been wanting to check out here. So I believe we have everything pretty much set up okay. So we're gonna go ahead and hit that new game status and see what's going to happen this time. We just recently completed Dread Out 2, which was a really good game, guys. If you haven't tried it, definitely check it out. And today we're gonna play what is it? The Suicide of Rachel Foster? Intense game, man. Name. I know, right? Very intense. What's going on, Game Prodigy? How are you? Oh gosh. My dear Nicole. You are the daughter every mother dreams of. Beautiful, smart, and fair. We've been through a lot, and I know things haven't always been easy, but remember what Dr. Franklin said after your speech at the high school graduation. So why is the subtitles at the bottom different? Faced with the dragon, one must brandish sword and shield. Sometimes one has to be known to kneel before the dragon. You're always thought of you as a fighter who, faced with the toughest challenges, is capable of brandishing all the weapons necessary to fight curiosity and heroically. We've never talked about what happened with your father, but now, wait a minute, with Leonard, I see that crossed out. I need you to tell me a few things before this illness separates us. Okay. What's going on here? Hello, getting through. Move the umbrellas. Life is a bad translation, my friend. Right, really bad translations. It is. Like, I don't get it. My father no longer exists for me. I can only trust my mother. The affair your father had with that young woman 9 years ago and her announcing suicide broke our family apart forever. I imagine exactly what was going through your head in that moment. That you kissed Duncan Forbes under the Christmas mistletoe in 1985. You marched against abortion in your first year of college. Whoa! That your father had repeatedly betrayed our trust, and that she had done the right thing by throwing itself off the cliff. I was there. I always been there. When you dislocated your shoulder at the first game, when you sobbed that night in a room you didn't recognize, and when Duncan was a good kid, but even if I've never said it so before, I immediately thought you wouldn't have a lot to talk about. Talking in the foundation for every relationship. If you don't talk, you drift apart. There is so much to say when you don't have a lot of time to say it. First of all, I'm sorry. So it translates the last part. Okay. Why do I feel like we're at a funeral or something? So the dad is a screw up and now mommy dear is coming for us? Right. Sums it up. I never thought rage was an emotion worthy of a good Christian, but I used it. I used it to endure pain. I don't want you to live your life like I have, my love. I want you to be free from the past, once and for all. That is why I want you to do exactly as I say. Sell our hotel. I think it's like summarizing it at the bottom. Let's end the story once and for all. The hotel is my family, and you're entitled to it. Go back there, Nicole. I've hired a lawyer in Helena, has passed away. I will already be gone long. Take a quick inspection, sign the papers, and sell it to those walls that hold nothing but rage. Keep what you need to pay off your university loans, and give it the rest to the girl's family. Let's end this story once and for all. We've always been there for each other. I wish I could still be there at your graduation, your wedding, my grandchildren's birth. But that's it. We don't know how much time we have. Use yours too, love. There's nothing else worth living for, fighting for, or dying for. Believe me, I love you above all else. Your mother, June 24th, 1991. Tell me how that's not the same setup to the game. Right. So when we're in this scene, we're moving with the umbrella. Yep, I knew it was going to be a coffin. I knew it. It just looks like it. Rainy nights, umbrellas, funeral. Oh, dear G. Isaac. Right. Isaac. Oh, man. This is... Testing. Can you guys hear me real good? How come these bars are not moving like they used to? Testing. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. As long as you guys can hear me.
Montana is amassing all the characteristics of an atypical.
Thank you, Game Prodigy. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
With above-average winds and snowfall, especially forecast for Helena National Forest Natural Reserve. The National Weather Service warns residents to follow all instructions given by local authorities and to avoid all unnecessary travel. Some concerned meteorologists are comparing it to the storm that hit Billings in 1955, with 42 inches of snow falling over a single night. Are we heading into the mother of all winters in Lewis and Clark County?
Let's fix this real quick. Okay. Sound good? Thank you. Oh, well, listen to the local authorities. How is that not propaganda? Right? Yo, am I lagging? I don't know if we're lagging or not.
The smell. It's all I remember from the night we departed 10 years ago.
Yo, my game is lagging. Oh my gosh. I'm only getting 30 FPS. What the heck? Hold on. Time out. Settings. Yo. Okay, maybe I'm not doing 4K. I think that might be why. Let me bump it down to something else. It's not letting me. Let's do 1920 by 1080. Let's do something average. Yeah, frame rate went up. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, 4K, I only get 30 FPS. Screw that. Oh, the image tear is real, though. Hold on, time out. We're gonna need VSync on this one. Even with VSync, I'm getting image tear. What the heck? Ugh. You guys might not see the image tear. Okay. So we don't see our feet with our character, which is not good. That's for sure. Game looks fine. Yeah, it looks fine for you guys. So I feel like I'm getting a little bit of image tear. I think I'm just gonna do mouse and keyboard on this one. Let me just plug my controller back in. Good thing it's rechargeable. Alright. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, see what we got. Mouse sensitivity might have to go up, but it's all good. So this is our car, right? I can't sprint, run, nothing. So what are we looking for here? Faulty lamp? Oh, mom's car. Look at that. Wow. That's interesting. We got mom's car just sitting there. Yep, we're back to Parasite Eve 2. Right, it's a game about suicide. It should be... Alright, I gotta fix this. Hold on. I know there's a little bit of white going on, guys. I do apologize in advance. I'll have to adjust my camera there. Okay, so, all right, here we go. So we got the 1920 Timberline locker room. Oh, we're not going that way. Yeah. Okay, so we just opened up the room. All right, let me try to get comfortable here. Okay.
The attorney said to check the office first. It should be just beyond the Mountain Museum at the end of the stairs to the main floor, if I remember right.
Main floor, okay. Can't go in any of these rooms. Get these doors open, guys. Ooh. Got a little battle layout going out here. Where's that phone at? Such a weird button to zoom. Oh, it's winter outside. Look at that. That's interesting. The Purge.
911 emergency. How can I help you? What's your emergency? Hello?
Right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Emergency.
Hello, hello.
Mr. McGrath, hi, it's Paulie from Century Telephone Company. I'm sorry to bother you, but as I told you last time, the company...
Hold on, before we go doing any of that, guys. Oh. Is this game capped at 60 FPS or something? So, keyboard and mouse. Hold on. Use current object, interaction, zoom, escape. Run is the up arrow?
requires cutting off the telephone service to delinquent customers. I'm really sorry, Leonard, but my hands are tied. We have to go ahead. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Okay.
Yeah, Nicole, it's Jenkins, the attorney. The hotel chain that wants to take over your hotel has just dumped a mammoth holy Bible of documents on my desk that I need to check through. I have to personally go to the county land registry office before we meet. Listen, I know you didn't want to go to your father's funeral, but now the hotel is entirely your property. The law requires you to assess its condition before putting it on the market. It's very noble of your mother to want to repay that poor girl's family, Rachel. Not everyone would deprive themselves of such a sum. Anyway, it's up to you now. Get to it. I'll bring you a burger you Portland folks can only dream of. Oh, I left you some notes and a master key on the dining room table of your family's old apartment. Start your rounds from there. Give me a couple of hours. Don't run off, all right?
All right, so let's go ahead and get this map open. I like how...
Decent attorney from Portland, Mom, not this potato head. Come on, let's do this.
All right, so press Q to show previous floor, plus E. Mr. Jenkins said he left the management key in the master suite. Or master suit suite, whatever. Where the hell is that at? Okay, so first floor. We're on the main floor. Oh, so we gotta go one floor up, guys. If we take the stairs, looks like we'll be making a right. Dude, I have no idea, bro. No idea. Wow, full pack of cigarettes. Okay. Gonna check around, see what else we got around here. Storage room is locked. We're not doing anything with these. Kind of have a little area saying you are here. So we need to go upstairs, guys. The master suite. We need to go to the master suite first. It's nice graphics, though. I'm not really digging this depth of field effect going on. So the game doesn't really let you customize graphic settings to the max. It just kind of gives you what it wants. So you can only choose like presets. So you can't really customize individual slots, which is kind of annoying. All right, so first floor will be this way. So we're gonna go ahead and go up to the first floor. All right, we do have signs, which is good. Master suite's gonna be that way. Room 109 to 117. Master suite. Oh, we can actually explore, so that's kind of cool. I feel like this is gonna turn into like a haunted, like hotel or something. Don't want to get Colgate copyright. I like that. That was interesting. Oh, that's funny. You can hear the toilet running. Nice bathtub. Very nice. Even got some stains on it. Look at those stains. Something's gonna kill everyone. Absolutely, guys. Guys, I don't know. I'm really liking this. Like, honestly, I should have did an unboxing video. I really should have. And putting it together, I think would have been a really great YouTube video. But a lot of people did it, so I was like, you know what? Screw it. Whatever. I like that I can stand up and play my video games. Like, this is amazing. Like, this is cool. Okay. Master suite. Let's get back to business, guys. Master suite. I see the sign. Right. Checking doors along the way just to see what else we have. Whoa. This is an interesting room. Yeah, this VSync is terrible. Why is it doing this? Plastic setup. Right. It is. It really is. Ooh. Science. The existential issue, the staggering mysteries of being. How could our Cosmo come into being? How do I even know I exist? Are there a parallel universe? Well, follow the leader wear, save $31. And right now it's on sale for $119. For a single color, it's $74 on John Davis, the original American wear. That's right. Here's another packet of cigarettes again. What's with all these cigarettes around this map? Star Atlas. Observed, Last Will and Testament. Wow, you can actually read all this. That's like impressive. I like that. So if you're like one of those people that really want to sit here and read everything, you can. So it looks like we got some pretty interesting. Wait. I do see a Leonard. Leonard's on here. So is Helena. All right, that's interesting. Ooh, I love it. You could read everything. I wonder if we scan this barcode, guys. You think we'll get anything? Copyright of 1978. Okay. Well, actually, you know what? Who did that? You probably can get copies, right? Probably. Yeah, I like this. So many different books. Santa? Ooh, somebody drew in the book. Why didn't Scream work? I have no idea. No idea. We got to get you guys up on that top chart. So you guys are doing good. Oh, we got a nice little kitchen here. I can't deal with this VSync. Hold on, guys. Let me open up my NVIDIA control panel here on my desktop. Let me see if this is actually something, maybe like a setting that I have going on. Oh gosh, it made my whole screen just flicker, did it? All right, so here it looks like we got that going on. There it goes. There it goes. Okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna add this game onto my manage 3D settings here real quick, guys. Give me a second. It's quiet, but man, it still works, right? Wait, was it low? Okay. Tricks, make sure you clean out the foghorn tubes every now and then. Yeah. Oh my god, my NVIDIA. Here we go. No, not Dreadout 2. This one. Okay. Alright, so we got this going. Put that on. Um, um, Stuff clogs, yeah. Wait. Nope, still image tear. What the heck? But now it's not on the bottom, it's on the top. It hurts the eyes. Like, you guys don't see it at all. Man, it's time for a new monitor? Really? It's unbelievable. Oh, it's gone. It's gone now. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I had to take out full screen. Oh, thank you. You're getting that glare. Yeah, so like when my camera was going up and down, I was getting like that weird, like wiggly, like tearing, like really bad, like in the top and bottom. But now it's running really good. So I had to take it out of full screen. That was interesting. That was really interesting, actually. Game looks beautiful now. Now I can play. It was actually hurting my eyes, guys. I couldn't play it like that. It's a Polaroid camera. My room, my files, or my rules. Well, can we guess that this was a girl's room, maybe? I mean, unicorns.
Everything's here exactly the same as when me and Mom left 10 years ago.
Oh.
So... doesn't matter. Quick tour, nothing more, Nicole.
Yeah, but it's looking good for me now. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. Summer 85. Oh.
This is the manager's key my mom wouldn't give me when I was little. I'll need a master key for the guest rooms, though.
Okay. Well, at least we got the management key for now. What is this, No Man's Sky? Oh, it's romantic. Two astronauts. Like, oh, so sweet. Wait, what's the plot twist? Where is the brother's room? Right? So this will be my room. Oh, dude. Dude, strange telephone. Where the hell did that just come from?
What is this, a joke? Hello?
Can you hear me? Is this Miss McGrath?
Wilson. McGrath was my father's.
This is Helena Federal Emergency Management Agency. My name is Irving Crawford. Mr. Jenkins told me you'd be arriving.
Mr. Jenkins is a very enterprising man.
Oh, I guess so. I wouldn't know.
I'm kidding.
Oh, right.
Any reason for your call, Irving from Federal... whatchamacallit?
I'm calling to assist you during your stay at the hotel.
What?
The Timberline is old but sturdy. You'll enjoy your stay, and be safe, no problem. The furnace, wiring, it's all under control.
Oh, okay, enough.
What?
I don't know what Jenkins told you, but I have zero intention of staying here longer than, let's say, 20 minutes.
Oh. But the storm.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm leaving straight away.
Maybe you're not aware that...
Thanks for everything. Irving, right?
Irving. Yeah. You...
Bye.
Well, interesting. Okay, well, strange telephone. We want you. Cool, we can open and close doors, so that's interesting. You know, this sensitivity's got to go. Controls, or was it general? Try 60.
This is a real mess. Never thought to find anything like that.
Okay, so I think we're done here, guys. So we got some glasses, looks like some Ray-Bans. So with the management key, what's next? What the hell was that? What just happened there, guys? Broke the Steam. What? Stream again, Thomas. What happened, dude? Okay, we heard something, and it looks like it was coming from over here. The window shattered. I don't like how dark it is in here. We're not accepting this, guys. No way.
Hello?
Hey, you still there, Irving?
Huh? Oh, yeah. I'm still here, Miss McGrath. I mean, Miss Wilson.
When you said this shack was sturdy...
Oh, that's what I was trying to tell you before. Around these parts, the weather...
How much time do I have to move?
The snow piles up pretty quick, and some parts over 3,000 feet are already icing over.
I gotta risk it.
You're not thinking of taking the car?
Oh no, don't blur me out. No. Don't blur me out.
Yeah?
Nicole, listen. If your car breaks down, we can't come get you. Not even with tanks.
Whatever happened to Miss Wilson?
Sorry about that. I just,
Nicole is fine. That said, thanks for everything. Again. Thanks.
That delay was real, right?
If you ended up out there with your car gone dead, with 12 inches of snow in 20...
Oops.
degrees below zero, your lungs would collapse in a few minutes.
I remember how things work in the mountains. Luck doesn't exist.
All right.
As a FEMA agent, I have to insist.
You know, you're not the first man
To do what?
to try and stop me.
Hey, wait!
Bye.
Okay. She seems
I have a 1986 Dodge.
yeah, real dry probably.
I won't stay here a minute more. No way. The attorney, he'll take care of everything. Fuck all this.
Oh my gosh. So we're in the staff room right now, which is pretty interesting. We gotta see what else is around here, guys. Look at those slots, guys. Look at those slots. Keep them coins rolling in. One of these days, somebody's gonna be a lucky winner. All right, it's getting pretty dark around here, so we want to be careful around these parts. Get that exercise in. Heck yeah, man. Creepy kitchen. Creepy kitchen, guys. Creepy kitchen. Okay. Magical, I see you over there, bro. What the heck? What did you do, Tricks? I didn't do anything, bro. Wait, is the stream okay, guys? Like, did it break down on everybody? Alright, yo, this game... Oh, there was another game I've been wanting to play. I don't think it's out yet, though. Give me a second, guys. Let me look this up real quick. I'm gonna look this up really quick, okay? Okay. There was this game I really wanted to check out, but they only have a demo. I don't think it's official yet. Right. Yeah, I will, Jay. I will. I can play it on the cloud. I don't even need to have it installed, which is perfect. Yeah, this game ain't even done yet. I could wait for that. All right, let's get on with this, guy. So we're in the kitchen, right? We're in the kitchen checking around. There's nothing else much here. No storage, only food, no chemicals. Okay, well, what's inside? So what am I supposed to do in this game? I'm trying to leave? I think that's what we're trying to do. We have a dodge and we're trying to leave. That's what she said. That way we won't die a bunch of times. I know. But Jay, I appreciate you being so patient, bro. We had a good run, though. I think we did well. Oh, what the hell? What's down here? The basement. Yeah. Oh, hell no. This is a scary hotel. Like, this hotel don't even look normal. And the graphics are amazing, though. We need to get back to the lobby. We need to get back to the lobby, guys. What the hell was that? Did this just open? Interesting. I don't know where we're going. Whoa. Okay. Pig. Or dig. Oh, dig. Wow, that thing's all red. Look, somebody painted that one. Division 2 more on PC. Well, I do have it on PC. That game is too big though. I'll have to play it on the cloud as well, which is good, which is cool. It actually looks good on the PC. I've tested some of them. Guys, we need to get out of here. We need to get back to the main lobby. So we gotta go back the way we kind of came here and figure out what the heck is going on. So we got the oven. The door blew open. What the heck? Yo, where am I going? I believe this is the lobby. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, let's, yeah. Well, I forgot we can actually look at the map to get out of this place. To-do list. Here we go. Take back the car and get away from here before the storm arrives. Yeah, but that ain't happening. That's not happening, though. You know what I'm saying? So where's the main entrance? This will have to be the main entrance. The hell is my car? Where's my car? Dude, where's my car? Alright, so we got the restroom, we got the basement. Is that where we need to go? Oh, wow, we got a church here. Electric room, garage. Alright, so we do need to go to the laundry. We totally just missed it, guys. Alright, let's go back. We're gonna head into the garage. Where you started the game? Right. Yeah, so we're gonna head back down to the basement. We did see the laundry room. We're gonna go to the garage. That's gotta be where the car is. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and head back here real quick, guys. I said hurry up, Trex! Thomas, I'm trying to hurry up! You guys are making me hungry. Hold on. Time to mix some of this. Right. It's snack time. Nah, I can't snack, guys. No way. So, I just looked outside, guys. It's snowing, which is crazy. Which is crazy. Oh, wow. We found a freezer room. This room is kind of cool. Was it this way? This is where we kind of started, guys. Let's go this way. What's that, please? I love that you can read everything on the walls. Immersion, right? That's not good, right? Right? What the heck? Hold on. Guys, we have to go downstairs. I went completely the wrong way. Okay. I think it's, it was over here near these. I think it was, yep, here we go. Alright, we're heading back down. Simba. Oh, I'm running into walls, look at me. This is the laundry room. Okay, so if we look at the map right now, we're facing the laundry room. Make a right, make a right, make a left. Somebody in a shower? The hell? You know, this entire game has really high def graphics, but then when you look at this vent, I don't know. I find it kind of cheesy. I don't know. Let's just get to the parking lot. Shit. Wait, what? Hold on. It doesn't show me my map, so that's not good. I think we were supposed to go through these doors, guys. Alright, let's get through these doors. Wait, what the? Am I going the right way? Something is not right. Something is definitely not right here, guys. What the heck? We're at the church. How did this happen? It was people were sleeping in this church. I can't even go out there. Well, let's go back. Gotta get to the garage here. Did you hear the another game? What do you mean? What do you mean, Thomas? What other game are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about here, guys? Did I miss something in chat? This is the wrong way. Okay, let's just go this way, guys. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something don't feel right. This looks like a garage door, right? Take us outside. No, these are lockers. Locker room. Okay, but the locker room will take us to the garage. It's blocked off. Lonely boot? Wow. To ski route? What the hell? Oh, I'm about to go skiing or something? Yo, I can't go to the garage. What the hell am I supposed to do? Yo, another way to the locker room, but it looks like I gotta take stairs down. So the stairs that I took me to the church. Alright, let's head back. My typing is bad. Don't worry about it. Yo, yeah. No, yeah, we definitely we beat the other game, guys. Yep. We definitely beat the other game. Yeah, it was actually really good. I really did enjoy it. Okay, so check in reception hall and boiler room. Boiler room's to the right. Maybe that's the way we need to go. We'll keep this door open so we know we came this way. I think we could take these stairs, right? This way? Oh, dear gosh. We made it in the garage. Thank goodness. Wait a second. I was about to say, where's Mom's car? My car. Okay, we're going inside.
Tell me you changed your mind.
You there?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, right. It's a direct line.
I can't find my car keys. My fucking car keys. I left them on the seat.
You sure?
Think so? Maybe someone...
No. Listen. This office is about 12 miles from the hotel as the crow flies. It's 40 miles by road. There's nothing or no one in between, and that's not a good thing right now.
God Damn it, I knew it.
Oh, maybe the keys are in your pocket.
Wow, that didn't even cross my mind.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was kind of bitchy.
No problem. The keys will turn up. The good news is that we have these new cell phones. That's what they call them. Radio doesn't reach out there. I bypassed the signal to create a direct line through a shortwave sequencer. It's like a two-way radio station that's always open.
This place. I vowed to never come back.
Listen, I might only be a voice, but remember I'm here for you. If you need me, just call. Seriously.
Ugh. Fine.
Another COD? I don't know, man. You know what? I knew Modern Warfare wouldn't have been the best, but I gave it a shot. I had a fun run with it, but the game had some annoying aspects to it too.
I can't open the garage door. It's a conspiracy, damn it.
Stuff freezes up with the cold.
I have to get out of here. I'm not sure you get it. Look, I left this place 10 years ago. I had no idea I would have to come back here, let alone stay a night.
Nicole, I know your story. Everyone in the valley knows it. Your father, Rachel.
I haven't heard their name since I left.
I didn't want to be out of line.
Don't mention the past.
Okay.
They have Ghost on COD? Wow. Okay, so the garage is not opening. We don't have the keys to the car. We need to find the keys to the car. This is bad. So what's my to-do list now? We don't have none. Of course we don't. Of course we don't. Well,
Hey, found anything useful?
No. No keys. No garage door. I can't get out of here without freezing. Christ.
It's probably only for a night. The conditions might get better tomorrow.
They might?
Look, I'll be on duty all day. Call me when you want. Even just to talk.
Okay.
okay, okay.
Oh. Thanks, Irving.
Just doing my job. Nicole,
Yeah.
if I may,
What?
I'd like to give you some advice.
If it comes with the job.
You're safe up there. Just relax. It'll be fine. Okay. Later.
This guy sure talks a lot like he knows me or something.
I can't believe it. I'm stuck. Shit.
So where do I go? What the hell am I supposed to do? Day one. Oh boy. Well, I guess I just kind of explained everything just now. All right, here we go, guys. We're in day one right now. So we woke up. Which room are we in anyway? Why wouldn't she just use her regular room?
Hello?
You still there?
Is that a joke?
Yeah.
Well, you're improving. What's up?
Oh, nothing. I mean, just wanted to say, you got everything you need to have a smooth night. But you should take a look at the main power system. You know, no one's been up there since...
Leonard's death.
5 days might not seem like much, but the timberline has an age.
I don't know.
That's true.
I was only a kid. I can barely find the bathroom.
Well, that's a good start.
Like, at least I won't wet myself.
No, I didn't mean...
Don't blush, kid. I was just kidding.
Oh, I just...
I'll call if I need you.
So we have a spray here called Sensation. It's like shelling cream. Bunch of pills. We got some Bruton, 200 milligrams. The cigarettes are just all over the place. And we had a cat litter, so we must have had a cat in this house. And when you don't scrub your toilet, it starts to look like... There's pill bottles everywhere. Why so much medicine? Oh my gosh. Set up Lysol Lad? Solid air freshener. Red and shoulders? No. Red and hooters? Holders?
Irving,
Wow.
me again, obviously. I could really use
Simba.
more.
Sure, you'll just need to turn on the furnace for the hot water.
Oh, my mom never wanted me to go down there, but I loved that place. Full of little spiders.
A real country bumpkin.
Oh, I was a pest. Now, I think I even forgot how to get there. I forgot almost everything about this hotel. Funny, right?
People forget what hurts, I think.
Never enough, Irving. Never enough.
Yeah. Well, furnaces are always in the basement. You won't have trouble finding it.
Is there something else I should know, like, to survive?
Well, don't expect a 5-star menu.
Oh, really?
You could survive for months with what's in the pantry.
Let me guess. Canned beans, right?
Bean soup, baked beans, potatoes and beans, bean broth.
Starving suddenly seems like an acceptable option.
Yeah, Thomas, yeah. I had to, bro. It's better on the back, so I'm not sitting for 8 hours, dude. I'm tired of that. Breaking my back. Okay, wait a minute. So we have to do what now? What's the two? Okay, so right now I need a shower, but I must restart the furnace for the hot water. Okay, so why doesn't it give me like where to go? Basement. All right, well, let's head downstairs. We want jumping jacks. Jumping jacks.
Dame tu cosita, dame tu cosita, ay, dame tu cosita, dame tu cosita, ay, dame tu cosita, muévete para aquí, muévete para allá, dame tu cosita, ay.
Okay. Whew. Little exercise, little workout there to wake me up. Whew. All right, we're heading back down to the main lobby or first floor, whatever this want to be called. We gotta go back down to the basement again. There's telephone. Wow, payphones, guys. You guys remember the payphones? Oh my gosh, this telephone cannot receive incoming calls. Call anywhere. Wow, look at this, man. Throwback, and you could read it all. Dude. I hear the salt trucks outside, guys. So we actually had some snow outside. I just saw a salt truck just go by now. You guys probably even heard it with this microphone, like picking up everything. I can. Wow, look at these walls. I like the detail in this game is amazing. 25 cents each. Add 1 minute call. Coin calls only. Long distance. 4 minutes for $1. Do you guys remember them days? Can we read these? Oh my god, you can kind of read that. Yeah, you could. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, so what's here at the main desk or desk here? You put down. You hear the storm outside, guys? Oh gosh.
Irving,
Are you at the furnace?
he's waiting for me. He's down there.
What? Who?
Old farting ghost.
Wait, what did you say? Old farting...
I used to hide down there with hotel guest kids and wait for old farting ghost to come and get us.
Farting... the furnace?
Yeah. When Leonard found out, he almost choked laughing.
Your father laughed about stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, that's long gone.
Okay, so these guys are really having like an interesting conversation going on here, guys. Okay, so we're in the boiler room. We don't have like a flashlight or nothing.
How's it going?
It looks real complicated.
Furnaces are all the same. Can you see the...
Busting down, right?
I guess?
What does the pressure gauge read?
Huh?
The thing that looks like a clock.
Looks like 220?
Oh.
I don't like the sound of oh.
It should be more like 210 psi. Pressure's building.
PSI.
Do you have a choice between freezing or blowing up?
No. Push the green button. It's the starter.
Old farting ghost, you rank spirit! Wake up!
Huh?
Nothing, just talking to an old friend.
Okay, well, we're gonna press the green button. All right.
And here he is, in tip-top shape, I'd say.
You were right. The furnace is haunted. Now you've got hot water.
You have no idea how grateful I am.
Just doing my job.
You got a little bit of snow? Yeah, I think mine was like, yeah, it's out there pretty good. It looks like the sidewalks are fully covered. The road has been plowed, so I mean, yeah. Okay, well, let's get out of here. Head back upstairs. Go take a nice little hot shower with our character here. Maybe. The hell was that? Maybe we'll get a nice little scene, guys. Nah, not really. We know that's not gonna happen. If it does, I have to cut out the screen.
Give me some good news.
Just letting you know that the rooms will heat up before the hallways.
I just want to go to bed.
Did you find a room you feel comfortable in?
Yeah, my old room. It's exactly like I left it. Leonard cleaned it, but he didn't touch a thing.
Same as you left it.
Exactly.
How does that make you feel?
They teach psych classes at FEMA.
Well, just being nice.
It's endearing. But I'm not 16 anymore.
There's lots of other rooms in the hotel.
No, I think I'll sleep just fine.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll go back to our room, I guess. So now...
Irving Crawford, FEMA.
Hey,
Hey!
listen, I just wanted to say, if I came across as obnoxious,
No problemo. I get it.
it almost feels like I'm getting
Damn.
used to being here again.
I hope you've been okay, though, Simba. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. I hit my mouse.
Forget it, I'm beat, and I'm rambling.
No. From the rumors that went around the valley about when you left the hotel, and all that rush, well...
Right, I forgot. The Wilsonian mythology.
Sorta.
Now I'm just gonna chill in my room with the posters of my favorite bands, playing my old bass, totally unplugged.
You play the bass?
I suck. I wanted to thank you. Knowing that I'm not alone here is a huge deal.
Yeah, well, thank you for, listening and not freezing to death in your car.
So I owe you my life then. Wow.
It's just...
Your job. I know. Night.
There we go. Took a second. All right. All right, so we're done here. Let's head into the shower. Let's take it, guys. It's showtime. No? Didn't we just like... SpongeBob. Pluto. Guinea Superloot. The hell? Mala. Oh. Look at that snow outside, guys. That storm is blowing. Yo, what the hell? I thought she said she wanted to shower. I guess not. I guess we're going to bed now. Okay, hold on. What the heck? Okay, I don't understand. Oh, I gotta go to my room. I'm dead tired. I'll sleep in my old room in the master suite. Okay, this is your old room. The heck am I supposed to do? Oh, yeah, she did say she'll use it. Oh, day number 2. Why do I feel like this is like Five Nights at Freddy's or something? This game is weird. It's a beautiful looking game. It's got some pretty good commentary, narrating going on, but very, very weird. Why did we wake up here? Why are we in this room?
Morning.
Good morning, Nicole. Get any sleep?
I slept like a rock. I forgot my bed was so comfy.
Right.
Any news?
What?
Irving, Nicole, stranded up here. You snoozing?
After a night of incomplete crossword puzzles, I wish I was.
Wait, you didn't sleep? Like, at all?
I thought you might need something, and
But you didn't go home? Because of me?
Oh. Okay.
so, meteorologists are predicting a peak real soon, probably tonight. You can't move, not just yet. In theory, what do you want to do?
But I'm thinking about primary needs. I don't want to change the subject.
I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat first, then I'll think about it.
It's time for you to take a tour of the pantry.
Yeah, I need to get something in my stomach or I won't make it out of here alive.
You'll be forever grateful for baked beans.
Ugh, baked beans. Well, the hell was that?
Nicole?
Irving, how long has it been since someone's inspected the pantry?
Inspected? You mean stocked?
I'd just like to know if I should choose between malnutrition and food poisoning.
There'll be tons of things to eat.
Hmm.
Oh, definitely no mice or roaches. Pretty sure about that.
When I was growing up, I used to love chasing mice. Now they're gonna chase me.
You'll see. There's nothing to worry about.
For a while, I hid an ant farm in the closet. I think Leonard suggested it. One morning, my bed was swarming with ants.
You must have freaked out.
My mother did. The ant farm ended up straight in the trash.
Your career as an entomologist nipped in the bud.
Didn't think I still remembered all these little things.
The pantry. I'm not seeing a pantry. I'm thinking the kitchen. Yeah, let's go near the kitchen. So the hall is that way. We have to go through the offices towards the back. Okay, and there's going to be signs on the wall, guys, so we'll be able to really figure out what's going on here. So let's... The hell was that? Am I hearing things? Okay, here's storage. Definitely nothing here. Okay, here's the kitchen. Pantry. It's got to be one of these rooms. No, that gets us back outside. Okay, so the kitchen is right here. The fridge. Let's go check the fridge. Ugh.
There's some food, but it looks moldy.
Weird. I didn't expect that. There's a freezer. Take a look there.
Okay.
So we're gonna go back downstairs. We have a moldy pumpkin. Ugh. There's no beans. All moldy. Okay, so the freezer is going to be down in the basement, I believe. No? I think it was, where the heck was this freezer at? Probably down that hall. Oh, it's right here. Now we're talking. Yeah, you can read all that. Muggle lunch? What the hell? We're closed in, guys.
Hey, you kidding?
Guys, this is bad. What the heck?
Oh, I almost forgot. There might be a problem with the fridge door. Just make sure it doesn't
Are you
close.
fucking with me?
No. Wait, what did I say?
It would have been more useful to know that before I got locked in.
Oh, holy shit, I'm a freaking space cadet.
Yeah, I could have died in there.
Oh, this guy almost got us killed, guys. Space cadet. What's wrong with you? Cadets getting me killed out here. All right, so how do I check my inventory? I don't get it. Oh, doesn't open anymore. So what, we're done here? Let's heat it up. Hopefully we got some power. Yeah, what's my inventory button? I don't know. Tab? Oh, tab does map too. Oh, we gotta wait for that to cook. How come my character gets to eat in the game and I'm not eating nothing, guys? Oh, food's done. Let's grab it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Sorry to interrupt your continental breakfast. I got a hold of Mr. Jenkins, the attorney.
What did you get here? I'm only checking good news.
About time. When's he getting here?
He tried to make it. His car ended up in a ditch between York Road and Valley.
Ooh.
Come on.
He called 911 after just a mile.
I'm just gonna hole up in my room and cry, if that's okay with you.
I can't imagine that. He asked me to give you a message. Here it is. He says to... This is a swear word, and you don't need to hear it. Nicole. At this point, start assessing the general conditions of the hotel on your own. Jot down what you want to keep. I recommend you start with the second floor. It's surely the most damaged.
Please, only call me if you've got good news.
Right? So, what am I supposed to do now? Irving suggests to inspect the second floor. Alright, so we're going to go back up to the second floor here, guys, is what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and move our way up. Alright. We're going to go ahead and take the stairs. I'm telling you, man, the atmosphere of this game is beautiful. I love the environment. Wait a minute, I went the wrong way, guys. I need to go staff only storage? What's in here, though? Oh, nothing really. Alright, let's move it back. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. This way? We don't want to go that way. Actually, we do want to go that way. I keep hearing things. Alright, we're going to the second floor. Here we go. We haven't been up here yet. Wow, it is pretty damaged up here.
There's some serious water stains on the second floor.
That floor is pretty run down. There's some windows missing and water damage, too.
Yeah.
What's going on here? We got a candle with two candles. Look like somebody was trying to perform something here. This was the room check-in. Okay, it's just like a complaint file here. Well, that's how it looks out there. Look, I can actually see. Wow. We don't even have flat screens at this hotel, guys.
Here I am. What's up?
The hallway on the second floor is cut off. The door to the west wing is locked.
Your father started renovations, but he didn't get the bank loan and had to stop.
Leonard's attic is at the end of the hallway. His man cave.
Does that mean something to you?
I tried so hard to forget about that room for years.
Anyway, the west wing is pretty run down after all this time with no windows. Hello? You there?
You always have an answer to everything.
What do you mean?
Tell me something. What are you hiding from me?
I don't understand, Nicole.
You know how to turn on the furnace. You know where to find food, and that the fridge door is busted. You know my family's story and the hotel's.
It's up to FEMA to deliver the supplies to isolated places like the Timberline. I've been up there with the truck every month since I've been on duty. Is something wrong?
How should I have known that, huh?
I don't know. I don't know what you know and what you don't know. What difference does it make?
None.
I'm sorry if I upset you.
No one can upset me. I better keep doing the inspection.
Wow, the phone's ringing.
Yeah? Hello? Who is this? Who the hell are you?
Rachel is still there. Don't sell the hotel.
Is this a joke? Who is this?
Don't do anything stupid.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna pay for this lame-ass joke. I have a phone, a cell phone. I'm talking with FEMA, and I'm gonna get them to call the sheriff.
Wow, they just hung up. This is bad news, guys. So they... Okay, Rachel, isn't that like my sister or something? Okay, hold on. This ain't right. Our to-do list is gone. We need to get to the attic, but how are we going to do that? And all these rooms don't even work. Oh. Okay. The museum.
You pissed at me?
Uh-oh.
You really think I'm gonna sulk like a 10-year-old brat right now?
I can see why it's hard to talk about. There's still lots to clear up.
There's nothing to clear up. You delivered supplies to the hotel. You met Leonard, period.
You're right. I just assumed that your dad had told you.
Whatever. I've got a different problem. Someone just called the hotel.
What? Who?
It was a bad connection.
What did they want?
They said, Rachel is alive. Don't sell the hotel.
Idiot.
There's something else that doesn't make sense. The phone lines are down. Leonard stopped paying the bill months ago.
I'll ask someone to run a check.
I don't know, guys. I'm the ghost from the Christmas past. What if, like...
I didn't know FEMA had FBI authority.
Around these parts, time passes in a different way. Some stories seem like they've been forgotten, but actually they just sink down.
Sink down?
Like tea leaves in a cup.
I think I get it. Almost.
That girl's death. Rachel. It was the result of painful events, and now it's someone's obsession.
You talking about anyone in particular?
Well, her death ruined two families that everyone looked up to. Yours and Rachel's. Your father, McGrath, a genius astrophysicist, and Rachel's father, the upstanding Reverend Foster, known all over the county. Not something easy to forget around here.
You know what I think? They can go get fucked, every one of them. I know what we went through. No one else. Fuck them.
Okay. Okay. What the heck is going on? We're on day 3 already. Oh, okay. What room we... Oh, this is my room. Oh, but it's nighttime. Oh,
Hey, cutie pie.
Daddy?
Nicole, it's Irving.
Oh. Sorry.
I haven't slept like that for ages.
Must have been sleeping pills in those beans. Since I've been here, it's like I'm literally hibernating.
Wow.
You had a tough day yesterday.
To the dad cave.
I think I had a dream.
About?
I don't remember.
Okay. I need you to pay attention, though.
Should I worry?
The storm brought down some power lines. There are blackouts all over.
Oh, I wonder why that doesn't surprise me.
The electricity generator could go bust. I don't like the idea of you up there on your own in the dark. We need to do something.
My electrical know-how is slightly limited.
Well, we did see that flashlight.
I can guide you to the emergency generator. If we activate it, you'll be self-sufficient.
Too easy. Where's the hitch?
There are two ways of getting to the circuit breaker. Straight through the garage's side door, or from the floor you're on.
But...
The garage side door is stuck. You'll have to pass through the crawl space along the entire building and climb down from your floor. If the power goes out, you'll be completely in the dark.
all right. What do I have to do?
Check the closet in your father's apartment and see if he left anything you can use for lighting.
On my way.
Wow. Okay. Let's continue on and move on and see what else we can get here, guys. So it means it's nighttime, it's dark. Creepy things are probably about to happen. I don't have a flashlight, guys. What do I gotta do? Irving said I must enter the crawl space in the first floor staff area. First floor staff area. Alright, we're on the main floor. Yeah, I need a fat flashlight. Okay, so the flashlight, I believe, I remember it was at the top. We can go grab it real quick. All right, so here we go. We're gonna get going. I don't think it was this way. We gotta go up again one more time. This way.
Hey. Okay, almost there. I think the lights are getting worse.
You need to move fast. On the same floor of your apartment, in the staff area,
This one.
a storeroom. Your father asked us several times to fix the lock. Fingers crossed, it's still broken. That's where the access to the crawl space is.
What a professional tone.
Yeah, I use it when I want to make a good impression.
Right.
Human being I can interact with while I'm hostage here.
Yeah,
Whatever you
don't want to
say.
sit too long.
What happens when I get to the closet?
You'll have to go down to the breaker box and switch it on.
So I can't grab this flashlight?
Sound like rocket science?
Hurry up, please.
You suck at reassuring people.
Okay. All right, so the flashlight I can't grab. Oh, I could. So one to equip. I have to charge it? Or do I have to get him new batteries? This flashlight is not the best. I think there was batteries in my room. I must enter the crawl space in the first floor staff area. So where was that? Oh, it wasn't this one. Wait till it fishes off it. Okay, guys, so now we got a storm. I don't like this at all. Yeah, it's like really dark. Alright, no problem, Erida, no problem, bro. Alright, I'm gonna go. Okay, when we were right here, they said something about the first floor crawl space. Okay, was there a crawl space in this? Because this was a staff only. Oh, I see it.
I found the crawl space, and also a dynamo flashlight.
Yeah, well, Erdar is a different time zone.
I think I just have to push the lever continuously.
Is everything okay?
I don't remember it was so narrow. Claustrophobia. I don't know.
I remember the crawl space to be so narrow when the technicians went inside.
Maybe you gained weight.
It's called growing up, idiot.
Oh. Okay, so we're gonna go in. Night though, right? Yeah, 1 a.m. is really late. Don't everybody like hate working for somebody? Oh, we're going in. So what's with this cross place, and how did this guy know? Holy shit.
Shit.
What's wrong?
Your prophecy came true. The power went out. It's completely dark. Pitch black.
Okay, stay calm. Can you see the bundle of cables above your head? Anyway, there should be some cables along the...
Yeah, I know what a bundle is.
Okay, easy does it. All you need to do is follow them and you'll get to the generator room. Don't go any other way, otherwise, who knows where you'll end up.
Perfect. I got the flashlight, sorta. I got my breadcrumb trail, more like my cable trail, whatever. I can do it.
All right, yeah, easy.
Does it?
Okay, so what am I supposed to do here then? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't blame you. The kittens with that time. It's what I'm going to be doing soon because Trix is getting tired. We beat one game tonight and we won a little bit with this one. These are circuit breakers. Oh, okay, so... Backup generating power just to be safe? Just to be safe? What? Okay, so if I'm facing this way, I'm facing out of the screen, am I? Yeah, I kind of am. Oh my god, talk about kitten snapping. Sounded pretty good. Lipstick? Huh.
What's up?
Hi. I want to ask you something.
Okay, go ahead.
How long has the hotel been closed?
About 4 years. Yeah, from 89.
I mean, did anyone think about doing a thorough clean of the basement?
Don't know. Probably pretty rushed. Why?
I found something.
Another Polaroid?
A lipstick.
Huh.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't that seem weird?
It's... lipstick?
You don't get it. It looks really old. I remember this brand. The girls at school used it. Weird.
What?
It didn't dry out. I could even use it now. It's perfect.
I'm afraid I don't get it.
Irving, this brand doesn't exist anymore. It's been, I don't know, 9 or 10 years.
Wow.
Strange someone should wait 10 years to open a lipstick just to use it, don't you think?
Why are you telling me this, Nicole? You want to get pretty there with the generator?
Right.
Are you crazy?
Nicole, it's just another one of those things customers forget.
Well, yeah. You're probably right.
Wow, it was in the beginning the whole time. Day number 4. Okay. Okay.
I spent the night going through his stuff, and I want to know what you think.
About what?
You obviously know more about this place than I do.
Reporting is ordered,
About
sir.
what went on here. You awake? Since I left, at least.
Sorta. Ooh, what do you mean? You went through his stuff? Get your coffee?
For once, I don't need it. Someone calls me and says Rachel is alive. Then a lipstick appears out of nowhere. It feels like something weird's going on.
Rachel is dead.
I really don't know what to think. It's just that...
Wow.
The storm is dying down. You'll be able to leave soon and go back to your life. And you can forget about the whole thing, like you did 10 years ago. What do you care about this old business? It's not worth losing sleep over just to play detective.
Look at it this way. I've always had a secret passion for Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, let me hear what you're thinking.
If there's one thing Leonard taught me, it's that you gotta listen to what's buzzing in your head. First, it might just be a confusing noise, but if you connect the dots, then it starts making sense. And right now, I've got a beehive in my head.
All right, let's go hunt some bees then.
Okay, guys, so it looks like we have a couple items here. So we have the Pastor's Foster, we have Leonard's book, and we have lipstick. Okay. So right now it looks like we're going to have something is not right in Rachel's story. I have to investigate the clues in Leonard's room and shed some light. What was his room? Oh gosh. Maybe it was the 3rd floor. It's got to be the 3rd floor, guys.
I can still hear that guy telling me Rachel's alive.
If he calls back, go into special protocol mode.
Which is?
Trying to sell him a vacuum cleaner.
Why did I even ask?
The stream loads? Yeah, I believe I did. Let me double check. I think I registered for it, right? Or something like that. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, I did sign up for it. I do have it. I'm just trying to remember what did I have to do with this. I don't think I went about create collection. Okay. Okay. Yeah, hopefully that works out.
I imagine you're locked up in a room full of moose head mounts and a fat secretary who brings you reports about cats stuck on trees. Let me guess.
Uh-oh.
Wendy.
No way!
Her name is Wendy. She's not a fitness freak, and she's my boss.
Oh, God.
If anything, I'm the secretary.
I bet she works you to the bone.
Plus, she's a wildlife freak. Mine's the only head that could end up hanging on the wall.
I realized just now, I don't know what you look like.
Well, I'd say pretty much a local guy.
Wait, don't say anything. I want to think about it, and then I'll come up with an identikit.
I thought I was the one that got bored.
You do one too, then, and then we'll compare.
Okay. But if Wendy finds out...
Okay. Leonard's room. I don't remember where his room was. But his man cave we couldn't go to because it's blocked off. Alright, let me go back down. This flashlight is... Okay. Oh, you know what? Leonard's room. What the heck was Leonard's room? I think it was maybe back downstairs in the office? No, it'd be my dad's office. Oh my gosh, guys. I can't believe it's already almost 2 in the morning. No! I can't do this. I cannot fall asleep. Not today. Never. Why is this like this? This is Dad's office. Blah, 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 blah. Game room? Oh. Coin OP? I can't play these? Aw. That sucks. Hmm. Hotel's Witch Prior? Hmm. There's a couple pictures missing. Mm-hmm. I'm finding all these little secret areas. Can't go through there. That's outside. Hmm. What's with the handprints? Did I get a key or anything? Oh my god! Blew up in my face. I can't get through the sealed door. Mmm. Oh gosh. You know what? We're almost at 5 hours, guys. We'll probably do another 9 more minutes. Cause I'm feeling it now. Oh yeah, it is kicking my butt cheeks. If anything, Jay, I'll probably do multiplayer tomorrow. Maybe we can get on something. Where can I get batteries for this thing? Or are they going to be dead all? I saw batteries before. I don't think I've been this way, or have I? Hmm. Auto-tune piano? Ooh. That's a good question. I'll see what I'm in the mood for. We'll see. We can probably do a game we haven't finished. Let's see what's over in this way. I don't know where this guy's room's at. Hmm. Hmm. Forest anytime soon, right? Yeah, that one didn't really look like it had a campaign. It just seems more like survival focus. But it looks like there are survivors and stuff, so we gotta find them. All right, you know what? We're gonna come back to this mission, guys. You know what? It's getting late. I think it's time for Tricks to get some shut eye, guys. I really do. I don't want to be overtired or anything like that. I want to thank you guys, okay, for hanging out. I really do. I really appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out with me, playing Dread Out 2. Completed the game, had a lot of fun with it. Now we're playing The Suicide of Rachel Foster. So far, we kind of just been exploring around, so I'm hoping to see there'll be some different things going on. So other than that, the atmosphere is great. We haven't had anything chased us or anything super spooky going on, but I feel like it's about to get more interesting here soon because it's telling us each day is going by. So obviously something's happening. So I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. So, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break. Thank you so much for everything. You guys have a great night, and I'll catch you guys in the next broadcast. And Jay, we will talk about it on Discord about what we're going to be playing, guys. So stay tuned. If you haven't already, turn your notifications on. I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Bye bye.